What's up, everyone? Welcome to the What's Your Five podcast, episode 10. Super exciting times. My name is Rodel, and today we're going to have a very special guest as we go over the top 5 anime of all time. This is going to be kind of crazy. You kind of hear in the background, but before we get into it, I do have an announcement. As we're recording to episode 10 of the What's Your Five podcast, I felt that, because everybody's been so supportive, listening and viewing and all that stuff, I really just kind of want to give back. And one of the things that I truly enjoy is fight sticks. And so with that being said, I'm going to actually have a anime giveaway. And the prize for the anime giveaway is a fight stick that is basically a Gundam fight stick for the PS3. For those of you who are actually viewing this podcast, you can actually see the fight stick, which is pretty dope. But for those of you that are listening, is a Extreme versus Gundam fight stick that is limited edition for the PS3. It was actually made for the arcade, but for the PS3. But I got one, and it was, definitely really cool to get one when I was in Japan. But then now, I'm like, you know what? I got to give it away to somebody that's really lucky. And really, all you're going to have to do is just go ahead and click on the link on the description below. Click the like button on this video. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube. Make sure to leave a comment and let us know what your top 5 anime is for episode 10. So with that out of the way, I want to go ahead and introduce my special guest. So I've actually followed this special guest for a little bit now. She is an expert Gunpla/Gundam model builder. Gunpla, like Gundam plastic models. She's a super badass in Monster Hunter World, which I thought was pretty slick as well. But and she's also kind of famous for doing something called cosplay. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but we'll kind of find out as we go along. But ladies and gentlemen, you can reach to my guest through all social media platforms and on Twitch at VampyBitMe. That's VampyBitme. Thank you so much for being a guest host on the show. Miss Linda Lay, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good. I just noticed that my char, I don't know what it happened. I just saw it through the sky. He's fell over.
Oh my God.
Oh no. Okay, anyway, but yeah, thank you so much for having me. That's
no
random.
Worries. Thank you for
I want to fix it, but then no, I just leave it. It's
know what? It's okay. We'll
He's sleeping.
Sleeping. You'll be all right. It's okay.
It's all right. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Oh yeah, it's super cool to have you around. We have a mutual friend, Mr. Mark Mann, who was episode, yes. I believe, the gaming industry episode of our podcast, and he was very kind enough to hook me up with you and get this going. It was so nice of him to do that. And I was doing some research. I was kind of like looking around. I'm just like, man, like, there's something about you, Linda, that I'm just like, wow, you are just super wholesome. Has that always been the case? Wholesome. Yes.
Wholesome. Sure. It depends on where you're looking, but okay.
Well, okay, look, all right. If you guys don't know, Linda's a very, very good cosplayer. I was actually just joking about the intro thing. She's amazing, right? I mean, I've seen her at Comic Cons, anime expos, all over the place, and she does tremendous work. And one thing that I didn't know, and I'm terrible, so forgive me for this.
You're not terrible.
I didn't know that you made most, if not all, your costumes. Is that right?
Yes. Well, when it comes to just costuming in general, but I really appreciate that compliment, though. I have a good time. I mean, I can't stay still, and that's one of my things where I just fidget a lot.
Right.
And I haven't gotten that checked up, so I just continually make things. So, I make most of my costumes, pretty much almost all, especially now during the pandemic.
Sure.
I have time to finish a lot of my costumes, but I also collaborate with really amazing people if we have a tight deadline. And you know how video game deadlines are.
Absolutely.
They're like, can you do this in like 3 weeks? And you're just like, what? And it's hard to gauge art, They're just like, you just make it, right?
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Just don't sleep. It's okay. it's freelance.
So I'm curious then. So if you're making the costumes, I mean, there's nobody else that's actually helping you with this. Is that
majority of them, no. But then if I do tag somebody in the post, yes, they've helped me. It depends on the month too, because usual times, you know how it is.
Yep.
Conventions are 4 shows a month, and you're just like, what do I debut for what show?
Right.
So you're just like trying to do a lot of stuff, and then you do hire some people sometimes, but since I have time now, I generally just do all my own stuff because it just brings me happiness. Sure. I don't know. I like listening to music and just kind of zoning out on figuring out how to make things.
That's great.
So yeah, it's fun. It's like, it's like building.
And how long have you been doing it for?
I've been making costumes since I was a little kid because my mom in Oklahoma, where I'm from, I'm an Asian Oklahoma born.
Okay, now, all right.
Kid. So that might be where you're just like, oh, she's kind of wholesome. I'm like, well, we didn't have much. There's not much to do there.
Right.
So my mom, to feed us, she was working as a seamstress. So she used to, I don't know, in the 80s, do you remember like bagged clothing?
Yes.
Like in the in the malls, like in Macy's, they had like ready-made clothes in bags.
Okay.
So my mom was one of the main people that sewed a lot of those outfits.
Wow.
So sorry, my camera's going crazy, but yeah, like that's what my mom did, and I kind of got influenced by her. I was like, dude, she has all these crazy machines in her house. I want to be like her too. I want to make stuff out of like anything. that like yards of fabric, Sure. So I think when I started, it was like my first costume was probably when I was like 9 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, and
do you remember what it was?
Yes, it was. I think I was 9 or 10. I don't remember my age, but it was Earthbound Mother 2. Mother is it? Oh, it's Earthbound. The SNES game.
Right.
And I was Paula, but I didn't have a wig back then, so I just was Paula. And I just wore her clothes. Back then, I couldn't. Obviously, there's no wigs that I could. I was a kid.
Right.
So I was Paula. And that's one. Mother 2.
You're right. Did anybody know you were Paula though? Was the question.
No. No.
No one was like,
I didn't
Paula.
Know. No. I mean, I wanted to make. I was a huge and who wasn't a big Ninja Turtles fan.
Sure.
And I really wanted to be April, but I didn't know how to make it. So I was like, oh, Paula's dressed normally. Like I can go to Target.
Yeah, sure.
You
can get a yellow jumpsuit, right? For April.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think my mom would buy me one, and she sure as hell doesn't want to make a yellow jumpsuit for me because she doesn't know who April is.
Yeah.
She does buy the Ninja Turtles for my brothers, which was kind of like a crap thing to do because I love Ninja Turtles too. Yeah. But my mom's like, why do you like the boys show?
All right. I have one other question before we get into another subject here. Where did the moniker VampyBitMe come from?
Okay, there you go.
I always wanted to know. And of course my Google skills are terrible, so
back then when vampires weren't so popular, I guess on the internet,
so pre-Twilight.
Yeah, pre-Twilight. I was very interested in that kind of fantasy, or maybe it's real. I don't know, but I'm not against anything. I just think that it was very interesting of the underworld, like werewolves, and then just vampires at the bottom, werewolves, and then what else was it? I forgot. But I would read a lot of vampire novels, and I would be really into that world. And I don't want to be a vampire. I would say I'm a fake vampire, but I like that. I was always, and also I'm very pale, so I would get made fun of about that. And I was like, oh, vampy, it would be good. Vampire, something. So I just made up vamp. And then I continued to work, and it's funny. This is the story that will get the bit me. So I met this guy named Longvo. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
Sounds familiar, but go ahead.
But he's a Street Fighter artist.
Okay. Yep.
I met him at Anniversary. Oh, yes, Udon. Oh, you were Persona shirt. Hey, shout outs. Hey,
Shout outs to Udon for this shirt, by the way, guys. It's amazing.
Hey, I just
guys.
had a meeting with him last week. I love
Nice.
Eric. So yeah, he's like family to me.
Right.
I noticed that shirt now because you just pulled it up.
That's
Okay, but yeah, like so Longbow and I met at a Street Fighter party, anniversary party, and I love Street Fighter. So he was like, you know, what do you do? And I said, man, I live in San Jose. He's all like, I live in the Bay Area too. And I was like, no way, another artist.
Right.
And at that time, it was very rare, 2006 or 5, I don't remember, 7.
So pre Street Fighter 4 days. So
pre Street Fighter 4. And I was like, man, I would love to do something with you. He's all, let's work together. And I said, sure. Like, what do you want to do? And he said, well, what do you do? I'm all, I make costumes. I have an idea for a character. Let's, you know, he wanted to work with a comic book with me. And I was like, oh, dude, like, hell yeah, let's do some cool stuff because no one's doing it right now. Right. And obviously Twitter wasn't that big and like whatever. Yep. So I wanted to have fun. And I saved up enough money to buy some fabric, and he was like, let's make some really iconic images together. And I said, sure, okay. So we did Morgan, we did like street, Jury Han and all that other stuff. Right. And then I met him, and he was like, well, we need a website for you. And I said, oh, okay, let's do a website. And I said, Vampy, and he was like, well, it says BitMe is available, we can buy that one. And I said, sure, no one knows what the hell I do, so let's make it a joke because I'm like a big troll. So I was like, oh, VampyBitMe would be great because it sounds like she bit you. It was so stupid, but and then after our images kind of took off, I got doomed with that name.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
You did. I am very I was really hoping that there was something, I mean, obviously the Vampy part was pretty obvious as far as the gothy stuff and all that. I get that.
Yeah.
I was really hoping it was like, like I just bit somebody out of nowewhere, and then
I'm a fake vampire. I just like the dark side. So
you don't like to bite people?
No, I mean my mom, like she has this like old. I shouldn't say this, but I might as well say it. She's like old lady, like kind of here. So I just bite it every time I see her. I'm kind of weird, but I'm like, and me and my brothers have this thing where we bite our mom. It's so weird.
So what you're telling me is that your moniker is relatable to the fact that
but not the way, like the bit me was a joke, and then it took off, and I felt very terrible because it took off. So I was like, damn it. So yeah, that's how I got stuck with it.
Wow, that's pretty comical. So
yeah.
All right, so thank you very much for enlightening me on on the BitMe part of that.
Yeah,
stuff.
No problem.
So I think you are then familiar. We were talking before we started recording that you did watch the Markman episode.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, and so
great.
You are aware then that you are obliged to answer the rapid 5 questions.
Yeah, sure. I'll try to be fast as I can.
It's not being fast. It's just being able to find out what answer you're going to have. So,
dang. Okay.
So I have, again, for all the viewers and listeners who were just listening to this now, I do everybody that comes to my show that's a guest other than Anthony, which shout out to Anthony, couldn't make it tonight. What I do is I typically have a rapid 5 section, which is 5 questions for our host. It's generally pretty mild. It's nothing terribly embarrassing or anything like that. So it's not a big deal. But I like to have these 5 questions to kind of get more out of my guest before we start going into the list. So
nice.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Awesome. So question number 1. It's pretty easy one. It's kind of easy in here. Okay. Who is your anime waifu / husband?
Oh, waifu?
Yes. Waifu or husband, though.
Okay. And you're saying that I don't have to be fast, right?
You don't have to be fast. You can think about it if you want, just a little bit. But,
waifu. Well, it'd be Nico Robin for sure.
Nico
Robin. I really love her. Yeah, from One Piece. I really love her.
Yeah.
But the thing is, can I have 2?
No, you can't. This is just one. So it's Nico Robin. All right, Nico Robin is the answer for anime. Yes.
Yeah, she's pretty amazing. Like especially in the beginning of the anime, she really influenced a lot of things about me and like as a woman, and she's really strong and smart and yeah, she wasn't sexy, you know, well, she looks sexy, but like she wasn't seen that way to the men. And I think, yeah. And the men respected her, and she was like taken pretty seriously in the beginning too. And I like that about her. Yeah. And then I would say husbando, Kenshiro. It's amazing. Kenshiro is amazing because like he kept on looking for, you know,
Yuria
for so long, and I really admired that about him because I kind of like people like that where they're just all about one thing a lot, and I really like that because it's very admirable because especially in this day and age, people kind of just go with the flow of like what's popular, and like that's fine. And I kind of like fall into that trap too because it's really fun. But like for him, he was always very steady with what he loved and what he was about, and I love that about him. So that's what I love about him. So he's a husbando, and he doesn't look that bad either. So
no, he's a pretty sexy man, especially when he can kill you in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So all right. So. Question number 2: favorite weapon in Monster Hunter World?
Oh, that's very easy. I can answer that right away. People probably know this one, or if you don't, it's hammer.
Oh, is it hammer?
I'm a hammer girl.
Why? Yes. Why did I think you were a great sword? You know what? I think it's because you did. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Please don't kill me if I do this.
Okay.
But, San Diego Comic-Con, when Iceborne was being released, you were there.
I was there, yeah.
You were dressed up over there.
Yes.
You had a huge ass greatsword that was dope. I don't know whether or not that was built for you.
But that was not mine.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
I was like, was that built?
I was just holding it, I think. But it was not mine. And I love the greatsword. I just don't, it doesn't call to me like a hammer does.
Yes.
Hammer just feels good when you're bonking the monster on the head or just any derp monster and you're just annoyed with them. So it's just, I love that. So
so actually it's funny. Last night I booted it up for the first time in forever, and my claim to fame or my coup de grace is cutting the tail off because I'm a great sword main. So I'll just cut the tail off all the time.
Great sword's such a great, amazing weapon. It's just
so
OP. I wish I started out with great sword. But I always loved hammer.
Yeah.
So
hammer's always good though, especially in a group. Oh man, it's so good. So,
it's very important, to break
all the armor and all that stuff. So, all right. So, question number 3: if you had all the resources available to you, what cosplay would you do? And you haven't done it yet. And I know you've done a ton. So, I mean, I'm just saying, if you had all the resources available to you. Like,
all the resources?
All the resources. I'm not talking about, like, you had to piecemeal this or you had to piecemeal that.
I mean, do you want the ridiculous one? Or do you want the actual, like, what I would... Maybe actual, huh?
No, I want what you want.
I would say Priss. I would say the hard suit, Priss hard suit, Bubblegum Crisis.
Yes.
Like, the freaking motorcycle. I want it actually working. I want it to, do all the stuff. Like, I want that. That would be it. And not in foam and not in the materials I use.
Like you,
not like making it look real. Like, you know what I mean?
You want it to be real.
A real thing. And I just look at it, every day. That like Priss hard suit. Yeah, for sure.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Good answer. Wow. That's good one.
I love that.
So, okay. Here's the question number 4. You're at a restaurant. You had 4 open seats to invite to dinner. Living or dead, animated or not, who are those 4 people?
4 people to invite to dinner? Yep. They can't be annoying. Okay. And I don't like characters that talk too much. Like, I mean, they're cute and stuff to watch, but like to hang out with, I'll punch them.
So like, remember, this isn't limited to just this isn't limited to just animated people here. This is living or dead.
Living or dead.
Yes. Or animated. So it could be any. It's a very broad.
Kind of, I mean, I would have to say, like, could it be my friends?
Absolutely, yeah, totally, absolutely. It can be whoever you want.
My friend Monty that passed away. We were very close.
Okay.
And we would text all the time and talk all the time about geek stuff, and I miss him all the time. And he I miss him. So
Okay.
yeah, and like he's a big Final Fantasy fan and like
Yes.
a K-pop fan and like
Oh, yeah.
all that stuff.
Sure.
So it'd be Monty, and then anime. I got to put that in there.
Sure.
Actually, it would be interesting to talk to Juri Han.
Would it really?
She's kind of, and I don't mind that.
Right.
Because I'm like a kind of like a soft hard ass. Does that make sense?
Kind
of. I'm pretty
sorta?
strong. I'm very. I'm an empath at the same time. So like it's a really weird mix.
Right.
So it'd be kind of cool to like get to know her and talk to her.
Sure.
Because she's kind of like a mystery. So I would also like Zoro because he's always lost and he's kind of a doofus. So Zoro from One Piece.
Yep.
And he eats pretty well, and I don't want Luffy at the table, so I had to think hard about the other one.
Okay, so so you had Monty, good friend of yours.
Yeah, and he gets along with everyone, but he doesn't talk too much.
Right.
So I kind of feel like me and him are the same. So we'll just listen. So
you don't talk too much? No.
I talk a lot, but with things I like. But if I'm in a group with people that I don't really, we don't understand each other, I'm very quiet, which is very rare.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So Luffy and then Juri Han is
it wasn't Luffy. It was Monty.
Monty and then Zoro.
Yeah.
Because he seems pretty cool, and I think that who else? Because it's so random to have Juri there. I think
absolutely. So
cool.
that was Juri was number 3. So then you have one more seat at the table.
It'd be kind of cool to have Kenshiro because he's such an ass too. I think Juri and Kenshiro.
Well, you would have to have some water for him because the
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So just them. Yeah, I think that would be very interesting because me and my friend Monty would just be like kind of like chill and just drinking.
Yep.
Drinking soda or whatever we're drinking and eating, and they're just like talking amongst each other and probably fighting or whatever, and not eating all the food.
No, they would, and you guys would be eating all the food. Right?
Yeah, but Zoro might be drinking all the alcohol, so like that might be the thing.
To add to this question as the last question for the 5, what's the restaurant you guys are at?
Oh, fried chicken! Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Kind of like what I want right now.
Korean fried chicken?
Just any fried chicken. I like fried chicken a lot. Yeah, so fried chicken.
So are you a Popeyes or a KFC girl?
Oh, Popeyes.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, we're still friends. We can still record. Thank you. Just wanted to make sure.
Dude, KFC, is, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened. The Colonel did something.
She did something, and it doesn't taste the same.
No, it doesn't.
It makes me sad.
Thank you very much for participating.
No problem.
I appreciate the great responses. So let's just jump into it.
Okay.
We got the top 5 anime of all time. Now,
damn, that's for me though, right?
No, but so here's the thing. So we were talking about this.
It's really hard.
Yeah, it's really hard. We were talking about it, and I remember Mark was telling me, you know what, man, like that's too hard, man. You gotta have some type of like. I'm like, no, this is my show. This is what your 5. You gotta give me your 5. That's it. Like that's all you got.
It's really hard.
It's really hard. And so what I would like to preface that with is that these are shows / movies that I feel that if I was stuck on an island, or if I was in space, and all I had, these would be the 5. That good.
Perfect then.
So
I'm very happy with my list now.
Good,
yeah,
as you should be. So
yes.
With that being said, because it's ladies first, and you are the special guest of the night, I would like to start off with what is Linda's number 5.
Number 5, it would be Go Lion Voltron.
Really? All
yeah,
right.
I love Voltron. It's my favorite. I could watch it over and over again. It's kind of derpy like the times around, but I love watching it. It really reminds me of the simpler days for myself.
Sure,
it changed my life looking at the robots. In my lifetime, especially when I was growing up. Yeah. So Go Lion Voltron for sure.
All right. Good. Yeah. So, I mean, was that heavily influenced, I'm assuming, by your brothers, or is just something you
just me? Because Saturday, just me. I don't know. I think it's because when also the teamwork that they had together, and the message that they had, and it just I also am very. It's like cosplay. I'm very influenced by aesthetic.
Yeah.
And robot aesthetic has always been very influential to me. And I think that's my first love of like robot kind of anime. So
Sweet.
definitely a Go Lion. I could watch that all the time. Came out in the 80s, early 80s, and I could watch it over and over again on an island if you
so choose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
good deal. So that's wow. All right, good deal. So actually, for my number 5 this time around, I'm actually going with something fairly new, and I know that you and I are of the same age range, and so I'm not. And in fact, I was talking to my nephew about this today. He was just like, "Oh, what's your?" I was asking him like, "What anime do you watch?" He's like, "Oh, I watch this, 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 and this." And I'm like, "I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Like zero."
The new stuff.
New stuff, all new stuff.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
No,
barely.
But this particular one actually slipped through the cracks, and I love it. And I never would have guessed that I would love a sports anime. And so
I think I know what you're talking.
I hope so. So it's it's Haikyuu. Dude, telling you. Oh, so good.
I should have said that one. But I'm glad you said it.
Oh my god, man! I'm telling you, I swear,
it's so freaking good.
Oh man, dude. I mean, the way it's written and the way that they, the animation and the teamwork and all that stuff, and everything. I love like the coming togetherness of the beginning. It was done so well, and
it's so good.
Oh man,
it is ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember my buddy, my buddy Jeff was just like, "Dude, you gotta watch this." I'm like, "Man, it's a sports anime, dude. Like, whatever. Like, I need some laser beams. I need like monsters. I need all this stuff." And like, no, you should watch this. And sure enough, I watched it. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like,
it's probably one of the best manga anime. Just in recent times. Well, it's not. It's kind of old, but
it came out in 2014. And so 2014 was the anime that released, but I think the manga was like 2 years before that.
Correct.
Something like that. But.
So it's not new, but I mean I got into it when I had the Shonen Jump app.
Okay.
And I read it and I was like, what the hell? Why is this so good?
Right.
I was freaking out because it wasn't that popular at the time, but it got really high ratings, and I was like, oh, I got to get into it. That's a good one.
Oh,
that
it's so
definitely
good.
is a good one.
Yeah. So, I mean, Haikyuu was definitely up there, and I remember binging it because I was just like, I watched it, I'm like, oh, it's pretty good. Oh, it's pretty good. And then later on, it's like 2 a.m. and like, wife's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm all like, nothing, just watching anime, not a big deal.
Yeah, when it ended, I'm sure you're sad.
Oh yeah, I was sad. But then, hey, we got new episodes, so it's good.
Yes,
I'm
so
stoked. So I
saw that news. I'm super stoked for that too. That's a good one.
So good deal. Cool. So that's my number 5. Number 4, Linda, the floor is yours.
Okay, so Ranma 1/2.
Ooh.
I freaking love that anime. I think it's one of the best old school anime titles in my opinion. Because all the characters were very unique.
Yes.
And they all it was just I like humor a lot in my anime, and I like to have fun.
Yep.
So I just really loved everything, the art style.
Yep.
The music, and growing up seeing that style in Suncoast, I was like, what is that?
Wait a minute. Wait. Time out. For those of you that don't know, Suncoast is a brick and mortar store in the mall.
Okay. In the mall.
That sold really, really highly expensive anime. $40 for like 3 episodes.
And then I was so obsessed with that look, though, because you see like Record of the Lotus War, and you see all those other anime, and you're like, it has that tip, and I love this Record of the Lotus War. But like Ranma had that very I never seen it before at the time. Big eyes with the big hair, and I was like, what is this about? Me and my brother watched it, and I was obsessed.
Yeah,
it's I never saw anime that, because usually at that time there was a very serious tones to anime.
Oh yeah, sure.
And just like my favorite games are like Earthbound. I like when they introduce like hilarity to the titles, like Project Echo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like funny things, and Ranma was one of the more popular titles at that time that was funny and silly, and every character was unique.
Yes.
And I loved the aesthetic of it. So Ranma one half is my 4.
So I think it was Genma's panda that got me into loving pandas. Like I love pandas.
Exactly.
That's like one of my favorite animals of all time.
Yeah, I love pandas, and I think it's because, and also martial arts,
Yeah.
so their training, and also I don't know, like maybe because I never really started dating until like really late, because at that time in the 90s, no guy liked nerdy girls, so they liked the sporty like cheerleaders at that time, maybe. So where I was growing up, so I was like, oh man, like so I saw the relationship with Ranma and Shampoo, and like them fighting, Kane fighting over him, and I thought that was very interesting to me. So I guess like as a young girl, I was like, oh, I wanna like a guy like that, but not, I want him to pay attention to me. So I kind of related a lot to that anime.
Yeah. Love Ranma.
Yeah.
So I guess for my number 4, I'm gonna go with something that is of that time period, because again, we've
exciting.
Yes, it is. And so during these periods of time, I used to I'm pretty sure you may have done this too, because I think I've done my research on this. I used to go to a place called Yohan, which was it's called Mitsuwa now, but it used to
yeah.
So it's a Japanese supermarket. They have a bunch of like bookstores and stuff like that inside the supermarket.
Yeah.
And, the bookstore in there was Asahi something, and they would rent out VHS tapes.
Yes.
And they would do VHS tapes of this anime, which was Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah.
See, I feel like if I can morph our list, that would be great. But yeah,
it wouldn't be that long of a show. It would just be
that's
like
true.
10 minutes.
I'm just going with like what I was influenced by.
And that's what you need to do. And,
exactly.
And that is what I made sure.
But that one's a really influential one too.
Oh yeah. Oh man, it was so good. I remember, watching this. I actually watched this recently, not recently, but maybe like 4 years ago, all the way through. And man, the story arc for the Dark Tournament was just insane. By far one of the best story arcs in any anime. So good.
Yeah, and not only that, but the art style and
the art style was fantastic. Yeah,
everything was perfect about that anime. So
yes, yeah. I mean, Yusuke was just a big jerk, and and he was just some badass, and then it's just such a good premise for the show, and I love that it was even in the first episode he basically dies, right, and you're just like wow, so I think it was really cool. I watched it, like I said, recently, but before that I was just, oh man, it's a good series.
I love Yu. I think that like that is one of, if I didn't say Ranma, it would be that for sure.
Really? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh. No, it's just
But I wanted to have some variation, like, just to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta change it up just a tad. So, so good deal. So we're now at number 3. We're getting closer.
Okay.
So now, what do we have for number 3, Linda?
Number 3 is definitely Bubblegum Crisis for me.
Yeah,
I think that
that's so cool.
I love Bubblegum Crisis. I feel like as a woman, growing up and seeing them being that powerful, and you didn't know if Pris was, like you're like what? We won't ruin it for some people, but like Bubblegum Crisis is one of the most influential anime to me because as a woman,
it's a strong female.
It's a strong female, all female, headed group, and I felt like also the design was there. I would have easily said Akira, but that wasn't that influential to me.
I gotta say, for everybody in the world that thinks that Akira is one of the best animes of all time, I got news for you. I don't really think it was that great.
I rewatched it recently, and I said, "What?"
Yeah, I'm like,
I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. But
the art style is great. I mean, the motorcycle was dope. I mean, who didn't want Tetsuo's motorcycle?
Exactly. Like everyone wanted that, and I think aesthetic is there.
Sorry,
but Kaneda's bike. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it wasn't there for me as a top 5. But Bubblegum Crisis was for sure. Yeah. Especially during the time period it came out.
Yes.
You never saw anything like it. So. definitely you're just like, what is this? This is amazing. And it kind of caught my eye in Suncoast, and I definitely was into it.
So I'm still just like, I just remember walking into Suncoast like, ooh, wow.
Why is everything so expensive?
I'm like 10 years old. I'm like, wow, I do not have that much money to spend.
Why is this 40?
40,
like I never saw anything 40, you know, at that time. You're like, what? You go to Target, like pants or toys, like was it Ninja Turtle toys, like $4? You're like, what the hell?
Oh my god. And so I remember watching Bubblegum Crash. That was my
I see.
That was my intro to the Crisis series, and my brother rented it from the video store, and I was just like, whoa, this is dope. Like, the animation was so fluid, so good.
It's so good, and you're just like, you know what?
Yeah, they're just badasses. Like,
they're just badasses. You didn't see them as women, but as a girl. Right. I think growing up, that was very influential to me because my mom was like, "No, just be a girl, be a lady," and she would throw Barbies at me, and I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna." She would just want me to be like girly. I'm like, dude, I'm a girl. I'm very feminine, but I could also like robots or mecha stuff. So seeing them, I was like, "See, mom."
Yeah.
You know, but that didn't obviously that didn't impress her, but you know.
Well, you know, Asian parents, right?
Yeah, they're just like, it's a stupid cartoon that's expensive. Why do you want this? So stupid. Anyways, but yeah.
Oh, man. All right. So good pick. So number 3 for me is something that when it came out in 1994. And you know, this was after the main series you know, came out, which the number 3, my number 3 is Macross Plus.
Oh, I was yeah, good list.
So Macross Plus was really good because I mean it was super digestible, right? Like you can watch it without, you know, having to make too much of a time commitment, but so many good lines from there. The animation was outstanding, and I love the love story behind it, like the inner arcs between Guild and, you know, right. Oh man, it was so cool. And watching it as an adult, you're just like, wow, like they had it like
it's it kind of, I don't know how to describe anime back then, but it had a sparkle. Like it sparkled. Like Macross felt like it's every animation cell like was, I don't know, just I guess it sparkled to me. Like
it was very pretty. And
it's very nice and clean.
Yeah, it was very clean, especially for Macross Plus, because that was like it was like in the transition between hand-drawn art and like computer art in a sense. Like it was like kind of like getting there, and man, it looks so good. And
I have so many Macross books. They're like these indexes.
Yeah.
And I just flip through them all the time, and I can't believe that they thought of this. Yeah. You know, like back then with no like
no reference.
Yeah, no reference, no influence. I think that's why my list is so old. Like there's nothing there's nothing that's really like that influential. And I feel like, you know, well, Haikyuu is actually a really good one, you know, because it transcended a lot of the archetypes nowadays.
Yes, it did.
So I think that's a good one, but that Macross, definitely that one.
Yeah, Macross was really definitely was a good one. And
I'm good. I didn't put that one down because you're like, yeah. We're very close.
Exactly what I'm saying. It's a very close thing. I'm sure. I guarantee you that if I had anybody else on this show that was of maybe like 10 years older, or I'm sorry, 10 years younger, then it would be like, oh yeah, it would be.
I think I know Mark's top 5, I think.
I'm pretty sure all of our list together is going to be pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, but Mark is definitely like, he has a very distinct style.
Oh, he's a very distinct / diverse. There's a huge diversity between there, but I mean, I can totally respect that for sure.
Right.
I mean, he just has that. So, number 2, we're getting closer. So, number 2, Linda, what you got?
Well, I mean, it's obvious which one my number 2 is. I talk about it all the time. It's definitely the Gundam series.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when I was that young, I didn't understand war and pain and how adults talk to each other. So that was really cool. Like there was so much that I learned from Gundam. I think that's really hard to ingest as a child. Yeah. But for me, I was always kind of like more grown up around my parents because they always talked about those things because of Vietnam War and all that stuff in Japan. Right. So like the MS Team was really influential to me. Zeta was my first taste of Gundam, and I still watch it. So I think the whole, Gundam series, I think it's. Do we have to say a specific one?
No. I think Gundam as a whole. There's a ton of story arcs. In fact, I was just going to ask you because I asked one of my buddies the other day. I was like, okay, if I were to get into Gundam, what would be the series to get me started in it? If you had
the original, like the first one, the original one. But I would say for me, since I hear your aesthetic and just your anime choices,
sure.
I think Zeta is pretty freaking awesome, but it might be confusing. I started with Zeta because of it was really funny because I just really liked, because it kind of reminded me of Ranma hair.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, that looks good. Man, so I like the music too.
Okay.
I really like the music and and I love robots, so it was easy for me to get into Gundam after that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Good deal. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Good choice. I mean, it's a pretty obvious one. I know.
That's very obvious.
Anybody all Vampy, they all know it's.
Yeah, and if you don't know, then I'm always talking about Gundam or making jokes about it, and also how I don't like Seed. I really don't like Seed. I think it's one of the worst, but I'm sorry. I just don't like
sorry,
Seed
not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Sorry for you that you like Seed. Not sorry for me, but yeah. Yeah.
All right. So for my number 2, I'm actually gonna go really old school. And
really
good.
Old school
like it. So I don't know if you watched this one because I actually remember watching this in my Japanese class. Now, granted, anime style, the anime style, it's all Studio Ghibli, right? It's there's a specific, there's a specific style. But this particular movie was it was so heartbreaking when you watched it, and the movie was Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh, that one's amazing.
I know, it's so sad.
There's so many good ones that Miyazaki has made.
Yeah.
That are super influential.
Yeah. And so Grave of the Fireflies, it's a war anime, and it's about a brother and sister, trying to get through. And the story was very well written, very well animated, but then it really got to your heartstrings. And I remember watching this in class, and for those of you that do or do not know, I don't really cry that often, but when I do, it's something really hard. And when you see the little girl eating the rocks, and you're just like, oh,
something about kids though.
I know
it really messes with me too,
dude. Being a parent,
just a beautiful it's just a beautiful movie, and also the illustrations are just the way they capture children in Miyazaki films is just unreal.
Yes, it is totally
not children, but being childlike. Understanding from their point of view.
Sure.
So it's really awesome.
Yeah, it was a really good film. Like I said, as a parent, it's even worse now because I'm like, oh my god, I don't want my son to ever deal with that ever. So I'm just
I understand. Being a kid, it's rough.
Yeah, it's rough, man.
Yeah, it's very rough, and yes, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So before we get to number 1, I want to ask. Were there any honorable mentions before?
Oh yeah, for sure. I really like Fistofthenorthstar.
Yep.
That is something that I just really like shonen.
Right.
Kind of like my dad, the way he kind of is. I also really like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, okay.
I think that I really love fashion and style, and just everything is kind of aesthetic for me, and it makes me feel good when I see someone put so much time and effort into style and story.
For me, Fistofthenorthstar is definitely up there.
Berserk,
right?
I mean, that's a kind of a given because I'm making the costume right now. I really like Berserk.
Yeah.
It's very shonen stuff. It's very easy to read me. I either really like comedic stuff or shonen stuff. Gotcha. Because for me, it really, I think, brings out my personality because I'm usually very, it doesn't seem like it, very quiet, but when I do get to talk about stuff, it actually brings out like more strength in me as a woman when I watch these things.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
That's awesome. Good deal.
And how about you?
So yeah, so Fistofthenorthstar is definitely up there. My Hero is always a good one. I mean,
that one's good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like taking over, like the whole, action and suspense and powers and all that good stuff. I mean, my favorite scene in any anime, like that's getting up there now, because there's, with my number one, it's obviously my number one, but with My Hero, there was the All Might fight.
All Might is amazing. Oh my god,
dude,
it's so cool.
Good. And just like the way it was animated was just like, wow, this is amazing. And it got me. And like when the spark went, or when the flame went out, I was like, oh no.
Did you watch the movie? The recent one?
The Two Heroes, or the which one was it?
I forgot the most recent one. What was the title? But
I did not.
March or whatever. It's so good.
Oh yeah,
it's really good. Amazing.
Because I think the first
it should be out by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the first one that came out was a little bit just more, like story driven. It wasn't really but then this one, the latest one is more action driven and all that other stuff. So
I'm surprised we haven't said Dragon Ball yet, like either of us.
Well then. let's get to your number one. And then go. Okay, if you already mentioned it, I'll just say, because I'll leave yours number one, because I'm very curious to see what your number. No, but I'm gonna say it because I want to make sure that people know that yes, Dragon Ball is my number one.
What?
And the reason why I say that, not because it's super popular and all this other stuff.
No, it's not because of that. I know.
Well, it's not just because of that.
Right.
A lot of really good memories of me and my brother. We would watch a lot of Dragon Ball VHSs. Like I watched the entire Frieza saga, no subs, in Japanese on VHS the entire way. Did not know what was going on.
Wow.
Just watched everything from start to finish.
Who's your waifu then? Do you have a Dragon Ball waifu?
Man, if I had to say it, it'd have to be Bulma, because she's smart. Yeah, because
I have like so many toys of her right here. I love her.
Well, I saw a bunch of her stuff. I saw a bunch of the anime figures in Japan, and I was just like, man, they really love Bulma around here.
I want to show you one. Hold on.
Ooh, please.
Let me show you. It's Goku.
Okay.
He's not my favorite, but I know it's his favorite.
You're right.
But is this one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Goku is like my heart. I love him so much.
Yeah.
And this figure is so cute. And I love.
So I'm assuming then that you will not sell this figure to him.
No, it's not expensive, but I still won't sell it to him because he probably has it. I don't know.
No, I don't know. But if you guys don't know, so Vampy's showing the Goku with him holding the milk. Now, if you guys don't know, Mark Van's into Nikes and all that stuff. In fact, there's actually some Nike boxes in the back.
Yes.
I totally didn't realize. And he has like a meme where it's like Goku holding Nike boxes.
Correct.
It's pretty dope.
Yes.
So
he asked me like, Linda, do you know someone I can commission? And then he already did it. So
it's so cool.
Works fast.
Oh yeah.
So
but I mean, Dragon Ball, special place in my heart. Super was amazing. I mean, Super had really great animation.
See, I have not watched Super.
Really?
I have not watched all of. I read some of Super, but then I have not watched all of Super. And I mean, it's still going, right? Or no?
No,
it's done. It's done. Okay, I haven't. So I have to catch up to it. But I did like it. I did like it a lot.
Yeah.
It was good. It was actually quality.
It is quality. It definitely wasn't G2.
I'm like episode 40.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. How many episodes is there?
120, I think.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay, I can finish it in
You can finish it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you're going to Japan tomorrow. Or anything
I wish.
I wish too. Oh
I never have vacation, and that's the only vacations I would take. So now I feel like, we all feel like, whatever. We want to go back.
We want to go back. Oh my God, I want to go back.
I want to go back so bad.
Yeah. I mean, I remember going there. It was actually last year, and like I feel kind of silly because I spent, I think, 1 to maybe 2 days total in Akihabara, just in there, just going up.
I believe it. Did you meet up with Mark during that time?
No, but I did. Funny story. I actually met up with Ono-san. Like,
no way.
Yeah, so
you met up with Ono.
Yeah, no, I didn't meet. I mean, I literally was walking into a retro game shop looking for games, and
you saw him.
Yeah, he just walked by, and I was like, "Are you Ono-san?" He's like, "Yes." I'm like, Yes.
Which do you know which retro gaming shop?
I totally forgot. It wasn't Super Potato. I'll tell you that.
Oh, so okay. I was going to say
or was it
that's
like
in Ikebukuro, right? So
no, yeah, it was. It was. I forgot which one it was, but I just remember it was like 5 flights. The last the last flight was hentai, which of course is I think every store or like
yeah, and then guys flock to the sides when they see like me walk by, and they're like. I love that. Like going to a store and you don't know how the store is.
Yeah.
And then you see like a bunch of businessmen.
Yep.
And then as a woman you walk in and they just whoo.
Yeah.
and then the thing is they should stay there because
right.
I could finally then I could see what they're looking at. Because they're all walked away and I'm like, you guys are idiots. If you guys use your brain, you would just cover it.
Yeah.
And stay there. But then now I see what you're looking at and it's yeah. Anyway, moving on.
So,
moving on.
Back to Dragon Ball.
Yeah, back to Dragon Ball.
So love the story. Goku's my boy. And again, very fond memories of my family. It was actually, it was Fistofthenorthstar and Dragon Ball were the 2 animes that were actually very influential in my anime viewing. And
that's great. Yeah.
Because we lived in Japan for a very small time for me, because I was only like 3. I was born there. But then I go back and like my brothers had, VHSs of like Fistofthenorthstar episodes and some Dragon Ball stuff. So I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then, growing up later, Z came out, and then you see the, all that stuff. So
right.
Yeah. So that's my influential / this is like my, my childhood were those 2. And it was really hard because I wanted to put Fistofthenorthstar on there, but at the same time I was like, I watched Dragon Ball back and forth. Fistofthenorthstar, I watched it once as far as like an entire series. I never watched like the whole thing. So I'm sorry, I didn't watch the whole thing multiple times, like how I do with Dragon Ball. So yeah. So to finish it all off, Linda, what do you have? What's number 1?
Mine's kind of obvious. I talk about it all the time too. But if you don't know me, it's One Piece.
Oh hey yo.
One Piece. I know a lot of people hate it, but then a lot of people love it too. And I know that this art style is not
for everybody
very easy to ingest, and I can understand.
Mm-hmm.
But the story, I think, when I was growing up, meant a lot to me because. Typical kind of nerdy girl, don't have a lot of friends, don't know how to make friends, don't understand. Did you watch One Piece ever?
I watched a few episodes. I can't tell you if I enjoyed it or not, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really hard, especially I'm rewatching. Can you believe I'm rewatching it? So I'm rewatching it because just to leave it on the background. Yeah. And I was like, oh, it's hard to watch sometimes, But when I was growing up, it helped me a lot to understand like friendships and what it meant. And I think it's really good for kids, learning to stand up for themselves. And I'm kind of cheesy. I'm very cheesy. like G.I. Joe was really, I was into that.
Yeah,
G.I. Joe was like,
great. Yeah.
And then they'd always teach something.
Yeah.
And I feel like One Piece was like that. And I'm kind of like that too. When I stream, I kind of tell people, you can do things. I kind of feel like One Piece is ultimately like me. I could be very serious, but I'm having a lot of fun. And I also feel like there's a lot of premises in the show that range from race and sexism, and also strengths and weaknesses and friendships and fighting. And I just really enjoy the whole series. I think it's really fun. And it's the number 1, I think, manga. So number 1. Well, it was like Dragon Ball, right?
Yeah.
But Dragon Ball wasn't as influential to me growing up because of like I didn't understand.
Was it accessibility or just more
I just feel like my brother loved it a lot. I loved it too.
Right.
Of course, obviously I've cosplayed from it because I loved it, but it wasn't it didn't teach me.
Right.
Like I feel like anime has to teach me something.
In order for it to
me
be
to enjoy,
right?
Because I like making, like I like to learn a lot. Who doesn't? But for me, like I have to learn something at every episode, and I think I got that from G.I. Joe.
Wow.
Yeah, like I have to learn. Like if I'm not learning something actively all the time, I'm just like, I would have easily said Berserk manga, but like it just takes forever, so I'm not gonna say that one. And the anime, I don't really particularly care for it. Okay. So but that was another honorable mention. But One Piece is my number 1.
Wow. Yeah. All right. It's very interesting that you talk about how One Piece, amongst other things, right? I think one of the really cool things about your list was the fact that a lot of it had to deal with your personal growth, which is really cool. I think that's a great way to look at it. Because I mean, anime was great, and it was a good like escape, I would say.
I see.
But it wasn't anything that I was like, ooh, I need to,
That's a good contrast, though. That's good that you noticed that, because
Yeah.
I didn't even. I guess, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's more, that's for me, right? And of course, I watched a bunch of animated shows, like
Right.
DuckTales, the whole Disney stuff.
Yeah, DuckTales was really good.
DuckTales was amazing, right? I mean, it's one of my favorite TV shows. But I mean, it's like,
it's the best.
yeah. So I mean, it was a lot of that stuff,
Yeah.
and so I that's where I got a lot of my, just like G.I. Joe, got a lot of the influential, like, don't play with wires in the floor, motivational stuff, PSA.
Yeah, right.
Hold your nose so that way you don't get a blood. Like
I love G.I. Joe so much. And,
who was your favorite? Who was your favorite Joe?
Oh my god.
Was it a quick kick?
No.
Or was it Beachhead?
I don't know. No, that's really hard, but I really like Scarlet.
Okay. Yeah.
I tend to be like, because it's really hard to get strength. Like I said, like what you're saying about like anime, like everything has to do with my personal growth, which you're totally right. Yeah, like I felt like she was really strong. A lot of people like Baroness, and I'm like, she wasn't that enjoyable.
No,
when I was growing up, but Scarlet was really cool, so I like Scarlet.
Lady J was pretty dope too. But
yeah, for sure.
She was a badass too, man.
But I also like, He-Man.
Oh yeah.
Freaking love He-Man. That's definitely not a top 5 anything as a cartoon. But
who didn't like He-Man in the 80s?
Dude, He-Man with the toy with the torso.
Yeah.
Where he just like, it was so
twist
weird.
them, you twist them all weird, and they're like super duper buff. Yeah.
When I was younger, I was like always touching his waxy abs, and I was like, this is so weird. Like his abs are so deep. Like, do people have this?
My brothers don't have this.
I was like, this is really odd, but it's kind of cool, and just the clicking noise. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, like I really, but then One Piece.
One Piece.
Yeah, One Piece, and like you're right. Yeah, any anime that taught me something.
That's what it looks like, and that's really cool. And and it's funny because, like I said, you would think like Ranma, does it really teach you anything? It's really funny, sure.
It taught me at the time. It taught me about boys, like teasing women and not ignoring them,
right?
And I was like, I was kind of ignored, so I was like, okay, that's kind of like how my life is. But everything is like a step, like where I was. What I was enjoying at the time, but One Piece came at a time where I was trying to find myself in Friends. So I think that was very influential.
What year was that? Like, what year did One Piece like?
Oh God, it was like 20 years ago. So that was
it was like early. So it was early 2000s.
Yeah,
then.
Exactly. Yeah. Wow. Mm-hmm. God damn, early 2000s was like yesterday to me. Oh my God,
ridiculous.
Why?
No, it's all right. You're still.
I love being older because we lived through some awesome times because no one else can say they have.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very proud of it, but damn, 2000 was like, oh
that's
my
what it
God.
comes down to, the whole, we had it so good back then,
Dude, 2000 was like yesterday.
No, it was not.
Oh my God, I never get to talk about this. This is so great. I actually get to talk about it. And you're like, it was 20 years ago. I'm all, oh shit.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Well, wow, that was great. So I would just like to say thank you very, very, very much.
Thank you so much for making my night. I had a lot of fun. It was actually really fun. Like I'm
glad. I like to talk about the things I like to talk about, which obviously where we're going. So it works out.
I'm glad. I mean, I'm hoping that whoever's out there watching this, look into the anime that we listed because, that is some classic good stuff.
It's classic stuff, man. And you will not be disappointed with any of it.
No. And the anime just, it gives back tenfold and the style is great and it's unique. So, yeah.
Yep. So cool deal. So again, I just want to say thank you so much, Linda, for joining me on this endeavor in episode 10. Again, you guys can reach out to her at VampyBitMe, VampyBitme. You guys know the story now. You can watch her Twitch streams. She's actually making costumes and streaming games and all that good stuff. If you guys do like this video, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the vid, to all this other stuff and whatnot, and make sure you guys click on that link, because guess what? This is getting given away. Just so you guys know.
I want it too. So you definitely you better try out for that.
I know.
You guys, I would take it. I would snatch that.
Absolutely. I bet you she would. So,
I would.
Again, thank you guys so much. My name is Rodel. That's Linda. Have a great night. Thank you guys so much for listening. Bye.